Here are a few tips on using numbers in your writing. So, unless it's a quote, whenever you're writing, um, you got to think about it two ways. If you're working in MLA, spell out numbers 0 through 100. So, MLA, mostly for English teachers, humanities, we like lots of words. So, you're spelling them all, spelling out 1 through 100, and all one or two word numbers. In APA, you only spell out the numbers 1 through 10. So APA is the sciences. It's more about numbers, things like that. So we're getting the numerals themselves in front of the reader. In both, you're going to spell out large round numbers and numbers that end in 0. For example, 2,000,000, 500, 250. You wouldn't spell out 468, 2,483. So just remember, if it's these big numbers like this and they're round or they end in zeros, go ahead and spell them out no matter what. Don't start sentences with numbers. Now, this is a rule throughout styles. So, in your formal writing and even in your business, kind of less formal business writing, you really should not begin sentences with numbers. So, this is an example to this large round number rule. But really, what you want to do is reword. So, for example, if we say 468 screaming fans were at the concert, we can spell it out. But the option too is to say the concert had 468 screaming fans in attendance. So either one of these is fine, but just remember we wouldn't start with the numerals 468 here. We would spell it out. 99% of all dogs like bacon. One study showed that 99% of all dogs like bacon. So again, both of these correct, but we just wouldn't start with the numerals at the beginning of our sentence. General times and eras like the 20th century, the 60s, things like that, generally we spell out, and especially in formal papers. Exceptions are specific dates. In 1980, that is in that specific decade. In that specific year, on July 4th, 1776, from 1972 to 1974, or if you were giving a specific year, 71 BCE. So times and eras, the 20th century, the 60s, those get spelled out. Specific dates we can use the numbers for. When you use percentages, and this is true, we'll see on the next page of other things too, but this is very important to remember, go with either all words or all symbols. So we'd say 25%, and there are the numerals 2, 5, and the percent symbol, or we'd write out the words 25%. And you'll remember from our hyphens, when we looked at miscellaneous punctuation, it could be 20-5, 25%. So either all symbols, 25, the numerals and the percent symbol, or all words, 25%. And you'll see that here with money too. We'd either say use the dollar symbol and the numeral 5, or write out the word 5 and dollars. So same thing with money, whether it's dollars, pounds, yen, whatever it is. With figures, there are some exceptions when we are doing money, like if you're doing $428, that's round, but it's not large, and it's not, but it's also dollars. If you're doing any change, $428.25. So we've got the dollar symbol, the 428.25. Gallons, pounds, any weights, 132 gallons, 56 pounds. Whether or not you would spell out gallons or pounds, you should in general in formal papers. If you're doing a highly scientific paper that uses lots of weights and measures, you will probably use the abbreviation for it, but you'll want to either ask your instructor, your boss, or look at other papers in that field. So again, remember, I'm teaching you grammar in general, for general usage. As you move into your discipline, you've got to see how it's done then. And then time, if we say 6 a.m., we've got the 6 a.m. Or 8:30 p.m., same thing, 8:30, and then we've got the p.m. If you don't use a.m. or p.m. For hour, then you write it like this in formal writing, 8 o'clock. So you do the o'clock, 8 o'clock. Generally, that's not something we even have to really worry about. So And the last thing is if you have numbers in a row. Here we have 72 6-year-olds, and we have 7-2, the numerals, and then 6-year-olds, there's 6 and the hyphen year-olds, because they're not just 6-olds, they're not just year-olds. Remember our hyphen test? They're 6-year-olds. If we had 72 and the number 6 and then the word year and olds, it would just blend together too much. It's hard for a reader to see the difference. So write out the numerals first and then use words for the second one. 72 6-year-olds. That way it when you have numbers in a row. So overall, that's numbers in general. Those are just kind of a few little details you have to keep in mind. When you need to look them up, look them up. Remember, this semester you're learning how to use them, and even in the future, just take this quick moment and look them up, because in the end, whenever you do it right and you do it well, it really does make you look better. So that you can always, what do we say? Learn the rules like a pro and break them like an artist.